USBA light heavyweight champion, and tonight makes his 4th attempt at world title honors. Please welcome from the United States, gentlemen, Glen Johnson. And across the ring, ladies and gentlemen, in the red corner, wearing the white trunks trimmed with red and blue, weighing in at 12 stone, 6 pounds and 12 ounces, bringing to the ring a 38-fight professional record, 35 wins, 22 wins by way of knockout with 2 losses and 1 draw. He's the former undefeated British, Commonwealth and European light heavyweight champion, tonight making his 3rd attempt at world title honours from the steel city of Sheffield, Yorkshire's #1 son, Clinton Mr. Dave Parrish, our referee, will now give his final instructions to both boxers.
A British referee, a British judge, 2 American judges. Final words from Big Dave.
Boys, you know what I expect. Punch with the knuckle part of the glove. If one of you goes down, the other go to the furthest reach of the corner. Break when I tell you to. Defend yourself all the time. Shake hands, boys. Good luck to you both.
12 3-minute rounds for the IBF Light Heavyweight Championship of the world.
So here it is, the second meeting of Clinton Woods from Sheffield and Glen Johnson from Miami in Florida and the USA for the vacant IBF Light Heavyweight Championship of the World. Clinton Woods didn't do enough perhaps in the early rounds, came back strongly last November. Johnson has sparred well over 100 rounds, and Clinton Woods much the same to get themselves in perfect condition for this. And this is one of these very definite winner-take-all contests. And I think we're expecting Duke McKenzie, Clinton Woods, to put the foot in the gas right from the start.
He needs to start real quick, get into the fight a lot quicker than he did in the previous fight. Johnson's already looking to land the right hand over the top. He's just looking to see where that jab's coming from, and he's throwing the right hand constantly.
Huge contrast in styles. Clinton Woods at close to 6 feet 3 inches tall against a man who's just a shade under 6 feet. Johnson, short and squat, born 35 years ago in Jamaica, against a man who's been all his life from the steel city of Sheffield. Great supporter of Sheffield Wednesday. And huge support here tonight. It was a wonderful contest last time out, and a lot of people felt that Master Johnson was very unlucky not to get that decision, but a draw was what was given, and he's here to set the record straight. And Clinton Woods, who's lost to David Starry for his Commonwealth title, and of course to Roy Jones in a challenge for this very title, has maybe this last chance to achieve greatness and follow in the steps of men like John Conte and Freddie Mills and that great Guyana who represented Britain and won the light heavyweight championship of the world 3 times, Dennis Andrus. 3 of the very best. And can Woods join that particular pantheon?
Well, Johnson's just started this. He started this fight slower than what he did in the first fight. He's pacing himself a lot better. Keeps landing that right hand on Clinton Woods' jab. He's got his jab in hand, his left hand, Clinton Woods, it's too low.
Better work by Woods behind that left hand of his, nicely done. Dave Parrish just has a good look at them. Judges from Britain in John Lewis, Rick Bays from Florida, and Hilton Whittaker from New Jersey. Dave Parrish, needless to say, not scoring. Woods where he doesn't want to be, and that's in close, vicious looking left hand went in from Glen Johnson. Woods took it very well, and Johnson doing now what he did in the first contest, forcing this pace, Duke.
And expect Johnson to work the body, because that's where he had a lot of success early on.
Well, we know that Clinton Woods has a pretty decent chin, but for a big tall fella, there's never a huge amount of excess muscle in Clinton Woods. It's all about speed and being nicely toned, and he's got to keep this man away and work him and move. Good little chopping right hand once again from Johnson at the start of this round. And Johnson trying to rough Clinton Woods up as he did in the early stages 3 months ago here in Sheffield. Very little in the way of eye contact, as was the case when Dave Paris gave them final instructions. Tim Witherspoon is not in the corner anymore. It's back to Neil Port and Richard Poxon. And Mick Williamson doing cuts. Dennis Hobson in there as well.
Don't get into a brawl. One of them nice long jabs, turn it into an up. Water, right, drink, water. Come on.
But it was felt that despite the efforts of the former world champion at heavyweight Tim Witherspoon, Clinton Woods' defence wasn't all that it might have been, so he's gone back to his old trainer.
In front of him, long shots, and then move afterwards, all right? Keep the elbows tight. Don't get in a brawl, it's too early, all right? How you feeling?
Nice and calm in the Woods corner, but a long, long way to go. He simply can't afford to leave anything to chance this time. So out they come, Johnston in the red trunks. Well, the red at the front and white at the back is the current USBA light heavyweight champion. He has challenged unsuccessfully for IBF titles at middle, at super middle, and most recently at light heavy. He's a good seasoned campaigner. Although he's been beaten, he's only ever been stopped once, and that was by the remarkable Bernard Hopkins. What a good right hand! Clinton Woods got careless. He got careless. He was actually on the retreat, and as he stepped back, he let the hands drop, and Johnson read it beautifully and really punished the man from Sheffield, and that's quietened the crowd here, Judd.
It certainly has, but as I said earlier, look where Clinton Woods' left hand is desperately low, and he's just waiting to get nailed with it. Referee reading the right act to Clinton Woods' corner, saying if they keep up the instructions from the ringside, he will have no hesitation in taking him out of the arena.
Well, he shouted at Dennis Hobson and said to him, if you shout at me again, you're out of here. So no messing about from Dave Paris, and no messing about from Glen Johnson, who's going to work with a real vengeance. Clinton Woods has got to be doubly careful. That was not a good shot to take, and he's got caught again. Well, Johnson has said he can't afford to leave anything to chance. If he's going to win this, he may have to stop Woods, and he's certainly at this stage going the right way about it, and Woods has got to regain that composure and get himself back into the right frame of mind, and he's got to keep that left hand out of trouble.
Well, Woods is using the ring quite well. You know, he's trying to get round. It's a big ring and he needs to get round, put some daylight between the pair of them, but Johnson's just stalking him. He's not actually chasing him, he's just stalking him, you know, with well-timed, accurate right hands and left uppercuts inside.
Good work by Woods. Lovely little left hand into the midriff. Johnson in great shape, though, short and squat. Comes fairly square on, so there's plenty of target there for Woods. And again, Johnson tries that right. And the man from Sheffield read it pretty well. There's the right again. He's got to be careful, and he's letting that left drift down very low.
See, what Johnson's doing, he's stalking him, and he's just pot shotting. He's looking for the big shot all the time. He's got a high, tight guard, where Clinton Woods is more relaxed with his hands down by his chest. There's the right hand again. It keeps getting through.
Well, Johnson has got the timing of that right hand absolutely perfectly, because every time he sees Clinton Woods lower the left by maybe a couple of inches, in he pounces, and again, and he's really putting on the pressure now. And this has not been a good round for Clinton Woods. Nothing much in the first, but this is definitely Johnson's round.
Well, credit to Clinton Woods, because he's taken these punches. He hasn't gone down. Sure, he's been shook up to his boots, but hasn't actually hit the canvas. Now Johnson switched his attack from the head to the body.
Well, a little nod of self-approval from Glen Johnson. Managed by Henry Foster, trained by Orlando Quila. And we've got Mark Vaz in there doing cuts.
Just keep doing what you're doing, but you need to stay on top of the score, right? You can't let
that was a very good round, and look at that shot, round the corner. Caught him a little bit on the high side. Another couple of inches down, it would have been right on the jaw, more the temple and the cheekbone, and Clinton Woods really had to cover up. Let's watch where his hand is. He threw the left, the chance was waited for, and Johnson really came in, and that was the second good Johnson attack.
Take a shot. Close the gap, baby. Close the gap and go to the body. All right, touch him on the top, go to the body, and the uppercut. Give me that uppercut, baby, all right? But you need to close again. Move it, you got this. Let's go to work. We need to be there at the end. Let's go.
Johnson encouraged by the corner to go to the body, to try to draw down that guard of Clinton Woods, which sometimes is not where it should be. Woods moving, Johnson chasing.
He is moving quite well. Just needs to just walk the ring, not start to run around the ring. Just, you know, take little steps back and double the jab and try and draw Johnson in, because he won't have to go looking for him. He's going to start just stalking him and stalking him. So Clinton's just got to box intelligently for these first couple of rounds. Just box himself into this fight.
At the moment, Woods is moving back too much in a straight line. He needs a little bit more lateral movement. He's not showing Johnson anything that he didn't show him in the first contest.
Absolutely.
Little glance toward his corner by Glen Johnson. Gentleman Glen, he's known as. There's the right again, and again, it didn't quite land where he wanted it. And again, it was a little bit on the high side, but again, it caught Clinton Woods.
Johnson's pacing this fight so much better than the first fight. He started really hard in the previous fight and died in the last few rounds. He got really tired. But this time he started off slower, and you can expect him to finish stronger.
Well, Clinton Woods was an amateur boxer from his early days as a youngster. Johnson didn't start boxing until he was 20 years of age, and he had his first amateur fight then, and that's leaving it a little bit late, but he's made a pretty good improvement since then. And here he comes again.
This is better boxing right now from Clinton Woods, much better boxing.
He's got to keep Johnson thinking. He's got to get away from him, and he's got to pick him off on the retreat, which is his great strength.
Needs to give him plenty of lateral movement from the center of the ring. And as he comes in, use that to counter-punch.
Little clash of heads there. Dave Paris doesn't seem to bother about it at all. Better shot from Clinton Woods inside. A little sweet right hand, and that certainly got to Johnson. But the chunky fella comes barreling back, huffing and puffing and blowing like a little locomotive. Woods holding on.
These are better tactics that Woods has adopted in this round.
Not much between them in this one. Maybe Woods just slightly shading it, but it is very close. There's Johnson looking for that right again and again. Right. Sharp barking command from Dave Paris. Little flurry maybe at the end from Woods if he can, just to nick this round, but there's nothing much between them.
I'd be inclined just to slightly lean towards Clinton Woods in this round.
Watch the head from Dave Paris to Glen Johnson. And Clinton Woods, after a very iffy second round, may just have picked it up a little bit in the third round. Still a long, long way to go. And we can go ringside, and Mike Costello was with Clinton Woods' former trainer, but still a very interested party, former world heavyweight champion, Tim Witherspoon.
Tim, just like the first fight, Clinton's being forced back. Now, is this a tactic or a mistake?
I don't think it's a mistake. I think that you can stand in front of a guy and make a miss instead of moving so much. You can stand right in front of a guy and make a miss and make him pay. I think he shouldn't move as much, preserve his energy, and get off. Stand in front of him, make him slip, and make him miss.
And taking a few big shots, and at the moment, those shots are enough to swing it Johnson's way.
Yeah, it is, and I think he should keep his hands up more and just stand in front. Don't stand exactly in front of him, but make him miss and make him pay.
Thanks, Tim.
Well, good to see terrible Tim here in Sheffield. But the focus of attention, as far as the Sheffield fans are concerned, is the man in the white trunks trimmed with the blue and red, and that's Clinton Woods. A lively start by him. He's got that jab of his off first, but got tagged very badly as the two of them shower everybody at ringside here with sweat and water that's been applied in the corner.
Clinton Woods landed a lovely left hook at the beginning of this round. It was a lovely shot. Seems to have found his range a little bit easier in this round so far.
Johnson has ever tried to shut him down completely. Would like to fight this on the inside. This is more like Johnson's contest. A little bit of swelling around his left eye, but nothing to worry about. Again, Johnson just getting off first.
Well, Johnson hasn't quite found the range in this round. Better shots, nice little combination, hit and move from Clinton Woods.
Well, that was good work by Clinton Woods, because referee Dave Parrish did not say stop or indeed break, and it's protect yourself at all times. Johnson puffing again, shook that right hand of his out. I don't know that he's hurt it at this stage. Woods said that he had hurt his right hand in the first meeting some 3 months ago, but he should be well recovered by now.
Well, Woods at the moment is just doing the right thing. He's just putting enough daylight between him to score his punches and then go missing. Woods needs to punch in bunches now, 2-3 punch combinations like that, and then move out.
Well, interesting, Johnson is doing what Tim Witherspoon said that Woods should be doing, and while he's not actually moving, he's slipping the punches, but not that one. Oh, good right hand from Johnson, and Clinton Woods really grimaced as the second right hand, and Woods in a wee bit of bother now. With a minute to go to the end of the fourth. That was another right hand, and the Johnson corner getting very agitated, encouraging their man to go forward.
And also the body punches were sickening to Clinton Woods then. He called Johnson in so he could hold him, not so he could fight back. He's looking to survive right now, he is hurt.
Well, Clinton Woods, the last time I saw him say to somebody come forward was to Roy Jones, and we know what happened with that one. And Johnson has got a bit of time left in this round, and Woods walked onto a little short left, and Woods' nose is bleeding and he's breathing pretty heavily. This is not a good round for Clinton Woods, and he turns his head away and says, come on. And Johnson says, well, absolutely, and here he comes again. And Woods is on the receiving end in this round, and one more shot might just swing this in Johnson's way. Has he time? I don't think so. Uppercut with the left from the American, who's really gone at it hammer and tongs, and he's breathing very heavily. Woods smiles. Maybe he feels he's taken the best of Johnson, but I'm not sure about that. That was a hard round joke for Clinton Woods.
It certainly was. He shipped some very big punches. The right hand noticeably from Johnson. He couldn't seem to miss with it, but it was a hard round for Johnson. He put a lot of effort into that round.
Well, that definitely, I think, has taken Glen Johnson ahead in this contest. What a difficult round that was for Clinton Woods. He got caught one of those high swinging right hands on the top of the head, and although he covered up, that was hit more or less with the wrist, but Johnson kept at him all the way and kept swinging at him, and there was an elbow went in there, and there was a little short left, and although the punches weren't accurate, the sheer power of them will have hurt Clinton Woods.
Look after yourself in there. Come on, and tie him up. Come on.
Seconds out, round 5.
You know, he throws those punches with a lot of spitefulness behind him, he really does. He knows that he doesn't want to leave this in the hands of the judges, and he's looking for the knockout with every punch he throws.
Well, again, Woods, that left hand of his held low, and he throws it, and he doesn't get it back up to the side of his head, and he's got to keep doing that. And Woods moving and trying to change direction, and Johnson hugely economical, cutting off that ring.
Woods did say that he had adopted a different sort of tactic for this fight, but I can see the same thing. He needs to punch in bunches, he really does. Put some combinations together.
Johnson forcing it, and Johnson landing. Left hand got through the local man's defense, and again the right round the top wasn't too far away. But Woods is not going to stop this fella, and he's going to have to outbox him, and if he's going to outbox him, he's got to get on his bicycle.
Well, absolutely, but you know, as he's getting on his bike, he needs to be punching on the retreat then, so he's scoring the shots. Single jabs aren't going to win him this fight. 2, 3, 4 punch combinations, and then either tie him up, hold him up, or just push him off and put some more daylight between them.
Well, apart from Bernard Hopkins, Johnson feels that only one man has really genuinely defeated him, and that was Marquis Sosa some years ago. He has always felt that wherever he's gone, and he's travelled from home a lot, he's got a few bad decisions. Good left hand from Clinton Woods. He had to take a couple himself, but that was the best punch Woods has thrown, and Johnson didn't even blink, and he just kept coming. And how disconcerting is that, Duke?
Well, that is better combination from Clinton Woods, and it is disconcerting because, you know, Johnson just seemed to blink and walk through the punch. But I think Clinton Woods has decided now that he has to meet fire with fire.
Johnson hesitated. Woods got him with the left, but there wasn't a lot behind it. But it was encouraging for Johnson, or for Woods, I should say.
It's a better round thus far for Clinton Woods.
Woods with the initials IBF tattooed on his right shoulder. I hope he's justified his faith in putting those initials there. Half a minute to go. Johnson looking immensely strong.
It's a tight round to score. Nobody's landed anything of real significance.
Johnson being a little bit naughty with the head in there. Dave Paris is giving them time to break it up. And there's the end of the round, and Johnson makes the very short trip to his corner. And little signs of leg weariness there from Johnson, or maybe I'm reading this one wrong, but he does look a little bit tired. He's put a huge amount into these opening rounds, and maybe just hasn't worked out for him. Johnson with that little flattened nose of his, just ahead and no more. What are the corners saying?
You're not giving me the uppercut. The uppercut's going to get him. That's what hurts him. You shoot the uppercut, you come over with the right, or you shoot the right and come with the uppercut. You need to mix it up. That's what we need. Then you go to the body. You got to break him up with the uppercut. Listen to me, and it'll work. Get inside and shoot the uppercut. And watch him on the inside that he's catching you coming in with the uppercut. All right? We need to catch him with the beautiful uppercut you got. All right? And stay to the body. But we need to keep track of the score. And when you hear go, Glen, go, I need a reaction from you. Go.
Keep him off.
Walk him onto them jabs. Keep him off balance into them jabs. Come on. First. Come on.
So Johnson has been recommended to use the uppercut, and Woods has been told to be first.
That's good advice from Clinton Woods' corner. He needs to get off with his jab, take the centre of the ring and start working that arm.
Well, he tried it, but he's got caught with the right hand. And let's see if Johnson moves in and tries that uppercut, which we haven't really seen from him so far. All his telling punches have been that swinging right hand over the top of the left of Woods. Oh, good shot. There was the uppercut. It was a cross between an uppercut and a hook, but it worked very effectively.
Well, Johnson's followed the instruction to detail there. He switched the uppercut into an uppercut come hook.
Woods just tucking up and then getting out of trouble. But he's got to keep this man away from man, pick him off at the same time if he possibly can.
Well, there's enough distance between them. You know, Clinton Woods has got a good 3 or 4 inches in height up over this guy. He needs to just get behind the jab, keep working the jab, pick the points up. Look busy, just look busy all the time.
Well, at this stage of the first contest, Johnson had taken all Clinton Woods' reach advantage away from him. Better work by Woods in that little clinch. There is a bit of a swelling underneath his left eye. Johnson falling short with the jab and trying that right again.
Well, Johnson's headhunting.
Left and right combination from Johnson, and again with the left. And Clinton Woods in a little bit of trouble again, as he was a couple of rounds ago. He's holding on. He never shows any sign of discomfort. He really does take his lumps like a good champion, or in this case, co-challenger. Johnson getting strong, and again he's trying to punish Duke. Woods around the arms, and you can see Woods shaking those arms out because those punches really do hurt.
Well, Johnson, he's not that concerned if he doesn't hit the body. As long as he hits something, he's content with that. And as you said, Woods had to shake his arms out. Those punches were hurtful.
This is another good round for Johnson. Woods hasn't done enough at this stage, I don't think, or certainly in this round, to warrant even getting a share of it. Johnson's been the busier of the two. We thought at the end of the last he might have been tiring a little bit, but that's not the case at all. And gentleman Glen comes forward.
Well, Johnson's starting to fancy it a little bit now. He's got his hands down a little bit lower. He's trying to get a little bit looser in there where he can land his combination punches.
Again, the right hand from Johnson. Double left, good return by Woods, but not enough. This has been a better run by Johnson.
Oh, that's a good right hand from Johnson.
Woods replies with a decent left of his own, but this, I have a feeling, Duke, is Johnson's run.
Yeah, he's landed the bigger punches in this round.
And that maybe has stung Clinton Woods into action, because there was a very interesting exchange of glances there. And at this stage in the contest, it's still up for taking. And Johnson may be the man who's in the driving seat. Good look at that from Johnson, right through. What a wonderful shot that was, a hugely skillful shot, because he actually gave it the uppercut and then he put a bit of a twist on it, and then he followed up with some good right hand punching.
He's throwing that overhand right, isn't it? So you've got to move your head.
Tell ref his tape's coming off. Dave, his tape's coming off.
Midway stage, and we reckon that Johnson is winning this contest, as he probably was, we think, at the same point 3 months ago.
Absolutely. I've just got him just with his nose in front now, a couple of rounds. He's just punching, obviously, harder than Clinton Woods, and just looking a little bit more busier.
Right hand, 2s and 3s, not single shot, Clinton. You've got to step it up.
Round 7.
They're going to call timeout. That really should have been fixed during the round. Dave Parris's attention was drawn to it. The taping on the right glove of Clinton Woods has just come adrift. I think there was that much wrong with it.
Back on jab, please. Back on jab. Come on, let's put it with it.
So the 7th round starts. We're midway through this contest, over 12 rounds for the vacant International Boxing Federation Light Heavyweight Championship of the World. The other champions for the major governing bodies, Roy Jones, Silvio Branco of Italy, and the good Hungarian Zsolt Erdei. Clinton Woods hopes to join them, but he's got a fair old bit to do.
I just wonder if Clinton Woods has made up in his own mind now what his tactic's going to have to be for this fight, because he's tried one tactic, hasn't quite worked, needs to adopt now and try something else.
Well, it's not as if Woods is the champion and Johnson has to take the title away from him. The title is there, so whoever's the aggressor may just, and in particular with 2 American judges and 1 English judge or 1 British judge, those American judges like the aggressive boxing, and at the moment that's coming from Johnson.
Well, that's how they score, obviously, in America, and Johnson is looking like he is the aggressor. You know, right now he's got the centre of the ring, and that's where this fight's won from. This is where Clinton Woods should be dominating the fight.
Good left by Clinton Woods. Johnson shrugs and comes through. He's made a very successful transition from middleweight to super middle, up now to light heavy.
And it's Johnson now that looks to be the one that looks a little bit tired, the one that wants to hold on at close quarters. Clinton Woods should feed off of that and just get busy.
Well, Woods up in the toes, but he's getting beaten by the man with the shorter reach to that left jab. Woods' face marking up quite a bit now. A little clash of heads. Dave Parris let it go. Johnson holding on. Woods has got to try to think about that uppercut himself, and he certainly is having a go at it. Johnson with the right hand, not landing. Solid left from Johnson. This time it was the right hand of Woods that dropped away about waist level, and he got caught. Johnson tucking up, that has given him huge confidence, that left hand.
It's a stronger finish to the round for Johnson. This might just be enough to swing this round in his favour also. I just feel Clinton Woods really has to bite the bullet now and take control of this fight. He's letting it slip away.
No, I reckon from here Clinton Woods has got to go out and win this contest. He's got no lead to defend. Johnson looking very strong, although he's on the flats of his feet, so showing signs of tiredness. And again, this fellow wobbles back to his corner. He gives it 100% for every single 3-minute round. Just a little adjustment of the cup protector, and he sinks down into the seat.
Right, you need to put the fight up against the ropes. That's where it belongs. All right, you keep it in the middle of the ring. Don't do that. all right? You're doing good work, but you're sitting there too long, you know, contemplating what you're going to do. Just get your hands going and pick your shots, all right?
Well, Joe Clinton's going to have to win just about every round, you reckon?
I think so. You know, Clinton's not fighting the right tactical fight right now. He's just allowing this guy, Johnson, to get too close and land his punches.
Get the ball rolling. Doesn't like body, all right? Go back to the back.
You're in this fight, Clinton. Let's start pulling away now. Let's just pull away. These are your rounds. These are big rounds that are yours. Come on.
You've got to make sure these rounds. Tempo. You've got to set a tempo.
Do this for me. Do this for me. Come on. Inside now. Start bashing them up inside. Let's go to war.
Well, no talk about keeping him at a distance and moving. It's bash him up and let's go to war.
I just feel that the corner are a little bit frustrated. They want to see Clinton Woods really, you know, bite the bullet and stop this guy in his tracks.
Well, if Johnson keeps boxing the way he has been, taking the contest to Clinton Woods and getting him with the cleaner shots, he might just nick this. Still a fair old bit to go. This round and then 4 more. Right hand by Johnson once again. Woods has to be first with that punch of his. And again, he's backing off.
And there's a concerned look on Clinton Woods' face now. I'm not so sure he never took a shot on the inside there and didn't quite like it, but he seemed to just grimace a little bit.
Better by Woods, and Johnson responds straight away. Woods trying to get inside and do the bashing up, as Neil Port so succinctly put it.
And he needs a big round because he's just letting this fight slip away from him.
Well, has he got the sheer physical strength to match Johnson?
Well, he needs to try and turn the tide. I don't think he has to fight him, he just has to box him.
Solid left into the ribs by Johnson. That'll or by Wood, I should say. That'll certainly hurt Johnson. And again, he tries it. Well, they're fairly quiet here in Sheffield because they know that things are not perhaps going the way of the man that they're supporting.
Johnson's pace has dropped off. He's sucking it up now. He's feeling the pace of this fight.
Good solid shot to the ribs by Woods again. Is he going to do a Johnson to the American and take the strength away from him? Back comes Johnson. This is a very interesting round. Clinton Woods doesn't need that much more to take this round and maybe just turn the tide.
This is what he needed. He needs to try and back him up, force him on the back foot, push him back, and then get back on the jab.
A little bit more confidence now in the work of Clinton Woods. 45 seconds to go. He needs this one. He needs another good half minute or so.
That's a nice jab from Woods. It's better boxing in this round from him. He's got some confidence from somewhere.
Johnson comes forward. There wasn't much behind that right hand, although Woods did get caught. That swelling under Woods' eye has turned into a bit of a nicker, a bit of a graze, but nothing to worry about.
Johnson looks desperately tired in this round.
He wobbles. Good left once again by Clinton Woods. And Johnson is huffing and puffing. You could see Johnson trying to line Clinton Woods up for the right hand, but that certainly was probably one of the better, if not the best round we've seen so far from Clinton Woods. And if there was a gap, well, it's been closed. He still may have to do an awful lot more to very definitely get these decisions. That was good work by Clinton Woods. Shortened the punches, and the right hand was a real little gem. Covered up very nicely. Still plenty left there from Glen Johnson.
Start working your hands. Let's go to work. These are your big rounds. He's tiring. Come on.
He can't go at your tempo. He can't live with you. You've got to set the pace.
Still there for the man from Sheffield, Duke.
Absolutely, you know, he can claw it back. It comes down to desire now. How badly does he want this championship?
All them hands, never leave that box from your face. You understand me?
These 4 rounds are your rounds. These are nowhere. You'll come into it. Come on.
Come on. You can do this. Come on, to me.
Seconds out, round 9.
Clinton Woods up out of his stool very quickly. The man from Miami in Florida, born in Jamaica 35 years ago. Glen Johnson a little bit slow coming out of the stool, but is he just conserving everything? And has he a bit more left? Good body shot once again by Clinton Woods with that left hand. That worked well for him. He can't afford to be careless. Johnson has tagged him a couple of times with the right hand. Bit more confidence now from Woods. That was better. Little 1-2 combination. And again he goes for the body. Right hand over the top might be a good one, Duke.
Sure. Well, you know, it's about time Clinton Woods decided, you know, who really wants to win this fight and start showing out to his fans that have supported him all this time that he has got the heart, commitment and desire to go out and win a championship.
Johnson not being allowed to work the way he did in the earlier rounds, although still hugely dangerous.
It's a very good round so far for Clinton Woods. You know, punching in bunches, nice little combinations, tying up Johnson on the inside, leaning on him, that'll tire him out. Johnson does look desperately tired. There's no snap behind his punches.
Better by Woods once again. Johnson still there. Johnson going to the body. Woods just getting off the quicker with that left, and that's hugely crucial.
Well, you know, the clock's ticking, and he just needs to stamp his authority in this round again. Nice little cluster, push this kid back, try and get Johnson up against the ropes if he can, and try and work him over there.
Good footwork by Clinton Woods, turned his man nicely. And again, Johnson glances toward his corner.
Referee reading the right act to Johnson there for use of the head. Johnson's deliberately holding on the inside now. He looks really tired.
A sign of tiredness and a sign of frustration from Glen Johnson.
Well, you know, it's up to Clinton Woods to read Johnson's body language and really take the fight to him.
Woods needs to pick it up from here now, less than a minute to go. He needs a good 50 seconds or so, and then a good last 3 rounds.
This is another good round for Woods.
Good work by Woods. He's got the feet placed perfectly. Lovely right hand from the local man, and now the Sheffield crowd get behind him. Has to watch out for the uppercut that Johnson has been instructed to throw and hasn't managed to do so yet. Wild by Johnson, he's getting frustrated. Good footwork by Woods. He's using his head, referee indicated Woods to Dave Paris. Right hand from Johnson, careless by Clinton.
But Johnson's work is looking just a little bit shabby now. There's no real snap behind these punches.
Well, this fella looks more and more tired. But as we've seen so many times before, at this level of boxing, the heart can probably have a huge say in the outcome of any contest, and he's got plenty of heart. Johnson starting to miss. There was a little rub of heads there, and Johnson came out of that. That was a sweet little left hook, and he got caught with a right himself, but his shot was the better of the two.
10. This is 10.
What do you think, Duke?
Well, as you can see, I've just got Johnson just the 1 round up now. Much better round from Clinton Woods. Did exactly what he needs to do. Little cluster of punches, lean on to Johnson, make him tire. He's a smaller guy. Woods is genetically bigger, so he can tire him out. Okay, they weigh the same, but he's still genetically the bigger of the two.
I want it non-stop. Don't leave him alone. Come on. What we get? Get out of here.
Second down, round 10.
Clinton Woods has had pretty good advice all the way through this from Neil Court. He's encouraged him when it's been tough, and he's patted him when it's been good, and he's really said to him, go out and give it what you've got. It's there for Clinton Woods if he can just finish off this in considerable style. And signs are that Johnson, well, to use that old phrase, much loved of Bundini Brown, the great friend and cohort of Muhammad Ali. Can Johnson go to the well one more time?
Well, you know, if Clinton Woods, if he goes with the pace now, he should be he's just a little bit younger, he should be a little bit fresher and be able to sustain a reasonable pace to take him through.
Johnson has come out all guns blazing. Double jab and then the right hand over the top, and Woods has got caught again, and he turns half to the side, and that's a very ominous sign. Woods has got to come back. He's in a bit of bother, and Johnson has found it from somewhere. And just when Woods needed to keep the foot on the pedal, it was Johnson who found the accelerator. Here comes Johnson again. He's swarming all over Clinton Woods.
Just makes you realise that Johnson, for the last couple of rounds, he stepped off the gas, felt himself tiring. He's he's preserved his energy up until this point, and now he's starting to turn it on again.
But the confidence that's brought by a couple of good shots is very evident here, and now it's Woods is holding on. Still a minute and a half to go in this round. Johnson has started to fade in the latter stage of the previous three. Will he do so in this one?
This fight swings one way and then it swings right back. Clinton's got to start working that jab again like he was in the last round. Put the combinations together in these quick, sharp, flashy combinations. Catch the judge's eye.
And he's got to keep that left hand up. There's that little sharp right from Johnson. And again, Johnson really going head hunting. Better by Woods. Woods might just be losing this one. He's got a minute in which to turn it round. And then the last 6 minutes are going to be all important in the career of Clinton Woods and for the future of Clinton Woods.
Needs to really start working. Throw caution to the wind in this last less than a minute to go. Start working both hands. At least try and get a share of the round.
Well, having won the 9th in impressive fashion, he's maybe let this 10th slip away thanks to that very good start by Johnson. He hasn't been able to get back into it, Clinton Woods. 25 seconds to go. Right by Woods wasn't too far away. Left us held very low yet again. Jab by Johnson was spot on.
It's been a good round for Johnson.
Tough round for Clinton Woods, a round that he very definitely needed and may well not have got. Well, what a start we have by Johnson. Look, 1, 2 little tip taps, and then that right hand and a wonderful left and a right to follow. 3, 4, possibly 5 really good solid punches going in there from the American. And at ringside is Tim Witherspoon with Mike.
Tim, after a couple of good rounds for Clinton, Johnson there again has come back strong.
Yeah, I think that Clinton had a couple of good rounds. He should have fought that type of fight from the first round on. You know, moving too much might give away a couple of rounds, give or take. And I think the way he was fighting when Clinton came back, he should have been fighting like that from the beginning of the fight.
Thanks, Tim.
Thank you very much.
Well, final thoughts perhaps from Tim Witherspoon. Penultimate thoughts from Neil Port. Well, I do believe, if we're being totally honest here at ringside, Duke McKenzie, that Clinton Woods needs these last 2 rounds to win this contest.
Absolutely. Well, he's got nothing to lose now. You know, obviously he's got the championship to lose, but in terms of, stature and where he actually stands with himself, he's going to kick himself in the morning if he doesn't really go for this. You look in the mirror and he just won't believe he's let another opportunity slip.
Johnson starting almost as possibly as he did the last round. Good shots by Johnson again, doubling that hook to the head and then to the body, showering us all with sweat. And Woods under pressure. Woods just threatening to wobble a little bit.
It's a hard fought fight. Sometimes at close quarters, that's where Johnson's done his best work. And every time he hits Clinton Woods to the body, Clinton just sags back to the ropes.
Woods needs to take this round and the last one if he's to be in with any real chance. And it's Johnson coming forward. Johnson has got the old second win from somewhere or other, and Clinton Woods' face is looking very badly marked up. There's a bruise on the bridge of his nose and bruising underneath both eyes. Better right hand from Clinton Woods. He needs an awful lot more of those. Single shots, Duke, aren't going to win this for him.
No, single shots won't win it for him. But back comes Johnson again. First Clinton Woods takes initiative and then he allows Johnson to come back into the fight. Clinton Woods, once he's done his best work, should tie him up, smother what he's trying to do, and then land again.
Well, Johnson has lost to Sven Ottke at super middle. Surprise, surprise in Germany. He's lost to the Italian Silvio Branco, who's now the WBA light heavyweight champion of the world. He got a draw here last time out and felt he should have got the decision. And right hands like that may just give him the decision tonight, unless Clinton Woods finds something huge in the last 45 seconds of this round and a massive 12th and last round.
This is Johnson's round again. He's landed a big left hook there that hurt Clinton Woods. Had to go back to the corner. Clinton Woods voluntarily went back to the corner after taking that shot.
It's all falling away for Clinton Woods. A little hop and a skip there, but I think he's trying to fool everybody, but I don't think he's fooling himself deep down, and he's certainly not fooling Glen Johnson.
Well, Woods isn't winning this round for me.
Good left hand by him, but too little too late in this round. Dave Paris splits them up, 10 seconds and then 3 more minutes. And is Johnson going to get the decision which he felt was his 3 months ago here in Sheffield? Tough round, and look, there's a look of resignation on the face of Clinton Woods, and I think a look of contentment on the face of Glen Johnson.
I want a monstrous exhibition of domination. You need to fucking move, all right? You need to dig deep, breathe, all right? If you want to be a champion, this is what it fucking takes.
Well, a monstrous display of domination is what's required from Glen Johnson. He may not need as much as that from where we're sitting at ringside or from where Duke is sitting. And what finally is Neil Port saying to Clinton Woods?
No rematch in March, none in April. Let's go. Everything on this round. This is what it matters now, Clint. Drink. Have a drink. Have a good breather. We can have fucking weeks off if you put a big round in here. There's no tomorrow morning now, Clinton. Everything's now. This now. Everything now. Come on, shout. Everything. All your career, all 10 years is on this round. Come on, let's go.
Well, Richard Foxon has just about summed it up. There is no tomorrow morning, Clinton, unless you win this one. So once again, they go to 12 rounds. Once again, we'll have to go to the judges. Last time it was a draw. One judge scored it even, one went for Woods, one went for Johnson. And we think that Johnson may have got it at this stage.
I think so. I've got Johnson ahead.
There's that right that rocked Clinton Woods right from the outset, and he really needs to take it to Johnson. And even if he does and wins this round, I'm not sure it's going to be enough.
In their previous fight, Clinton Woods had a fantastic last round.
Back they come, courtesy of Dave Paris. Remember, a judge from Florida, a judge from New Jersey, Ian John Lewis from England. And they will decide whether or not it's going to be Clinton Woods or Glen Johnson, the 35-year-old from Miami, who's going to be the new IBF light heavyweight champion of the world.
Well, right now it looks like it's Johnson. He's the one that actually wants it the more. He's got nothing left. He's as desperate and as tired as Clinton Woods. But he's just trying to plough, force himself forward.
Woods needs a very big last half of this, the last round. And I don't think it's there. Woods is looking very tired, much more tired than he was in the first fight. Tries that right hand, but not to any great effect. Johnson has paced the fight very well indeed. He had a little quiet spell in the middle where Woods looked as if he was going to dominate, and then Johnson came back with 2 very good rounds in 10 and 11 when Woods needed them the more.
I don't see that Johnson's lost this fight. He's boxed a very intelligent last round. He's got nothing left in the tank, but he's still trying to kid and feint and just will his way to the end of this round. As is Clinton Woods to his credit, but hasn't landed anything of really significance. Forcing himself forward, sure, but not landing anything clean.
Good right hand from Woods at the end. He really needs to stop Johnson, which hasn't been done except by Bernard Hopkins almost 7 years ago. And I don't think Woods has got enough there to do it. And the Johnson supporters, and there are a few here, reckon their man must have got it by now. Woods is giving it everything, but that may not be enough. 20 seconds to go. Didn't make it last time out. Johnson thought he should have got it. He may well have got it this time. Down to the judges. 2 Americans and 1 Briton. 5 seconds to go.
I don't think we're going to get any controversy in this one.
I don't think so either. I think Clinton Woods has acknowledged, and the look in his face perhaps says it all, that Glen Johnson, who has been on the wrong end of some iffy decisions he feels all the way through his career, has come with a the second time to Clinton Woods, his hometown of Sheffield, and has very probably made sure of becoming the new champion. He's the man who's being hoisted aloft. The Clinton Woods corner are not doing anything like that at all. Johnson had a few ordinary rounds, allowed Woods to come back into it, but in the main, this solid American, although he did take a shot or two, that right hand of his was the one that made the difference all the way through. It was a very, very tough round for Clinton Woods, and Johnson just about nicked it, and has certainly, I think, won this contest.
Well, Johnson being chaired around the ring behind us, and can you see any way that Clinton's won that, Richie?
No, I don't think he has. I think, you know, let's be fair here, Johnson's won that. I've got him a couple of rounds up. Again, great tactics from Johnson. He drew Clinton into a close quarters fight, and he's been the boss. Too many telling shots from Johnson. Big right hands, big left hook. At one point, he was even out jabbing Clinton. I don't think it's Clinton's night.
He was absolutely relentless, the American.
He was relentless, John, but not for the first 3 rounds, and certainly not for 2 minutes of the 4th round. I thought Clinton boxed a great fight. He may have dropped one of those early rounds, but he was boxing a great fight, using his jab, moving off, countering well. That's what Tim was saying in between the rounds, and suddenly got caught right at the end of the 4th round. And I've got to tell you, I don't think he recovered. He got caught again in about the 6th, got caught again in about the 11th, when we all saw his face turning like a cartoon character. I just don't think he really came back from that 4th round.
And in fact, the Americans silenced this crowd because they were really up for it in a very big way beforehand. And by the 6th or 7th round, you kind of felt, they almost felt the writing was on the wall.
Yeah, I mean, me and Steve spoke about this during the fight. We thought that the crowd, the atmosphere just wasn't there because they can see their man losing. Didn't we, Steve? We thought that was happening.
They've had a lot of boxing up in Sheffield here over the last 10 years, what with Nassim Hamid, Johnny Nelson and Clinton. They've had loads and loads of shows up here. They know what they're doing, and they knew he was losing.
Well, here's confirmation of the verdict.
Ladies and gentlemen, at the end of 12 rounds of a half-all contest, we go to the judges' scorecards, where we have a unanimous decision. Judge Bays scores the contest 116 to 112. Judge Ian John Lewis scores the contest 115 to 113. Judge Whitaker scores the contest 115 to 113. All 3 in favour of the winner and the new IBF light heavyweight champion of the world, Glen Johnson.
No mistake this time. He has waited and waited and waited and waited, and all his dreams have come true here in Sheffield. He failed to win the IBF Middleweight Championship of the world. He failed to win the IBF Super Middleweight Championship of the world. But all 3 judges, by 4, 2 and 2-point margins, have not given it to Clinton Woods, who's commiserated with Simon Block of the British Boxing Board of Control. But there is the champion. There is the champion, and he really this time, Duke, did deserve to win it.
Yeah, he more than deserved to win it. And he forced the fight, landed some good telling punches, paced himself better. Clinton Woods didn't show enough devil, not enough urgency, not enough real desire to win this fight. Didn't take it away from Johnson.
Well, it's a division where most of the top 10 in the world are well over the 30 mark, and Glen Johnson is midway between 30 and 40, and he no doubt will go on and look for some big money contest, maybe a unification fight with Roy Jones. Who knows what happens with Clinton Wood? There's a fair bit of domestic boxing to be negotiated, but will he genuinely want to do just that? So Clinton Woods will have plenty of time to contemplate his future, but when he looks at this contest, he will know very well that he simply didn't do enough, and he's at ringside now talking with Mike Costello.
Clinton, last time you managed to claw your way back into it. Tonight, you never really got going.
No,
Glen, get other side. Glen.
To be truthful, he hurt me a few times. To myself, I didn't think I really got into the fight. I tried, but I just couldn't get into the fight. I don't know what went wrong. Glen boxed a fantastic fight. I just couldn't get it going. Glen boxed brilliant.
Glen, we saw from your reaction at the end what it means to you, but just add some words. Tell us, how do you feel now?
I have 3 kids. I've been struggling for a long time to feed my kids. I want to save college fund for my kids, so when they get to an age they can go to college. I didn't. And I work hard all over the world as an underdog, fighting against guys like this. beat a lot of them, and they took it. This is an unbelievable feeling. There's nobody in boxing take the road that I take and make it. You understand? They try to use me as an opponent, and I still beat the odds. You have no idea what that accomplishment means to me. I can't even put it in words. Only if what I said justify it a little bit, but trust me, it's no justification.
Well, I'm sure many people in the boxing fraternity will salute what you've done, but Clinton, I know it's difficult at this early stage, but is there a way back in at the top level for you?
There's a way back. I don't know. Glen just took it away from me today. Took everything away from me.
Can you give us any reason as to why it wasn't there tonight?
He hit me a few times, some big shots. I just couldn't seem to get anything going. Jab. He just took everything away. Seemed to take everything away from me today. I tried to get into it. I tried to try and force him back, but Glen's a great fighter. Don't make no. He's one of the best fighters in the world at the moment, if not the best at light heavy. So I've lost to a great fighter. I'm going to go back and have a little think about my career. But I've lost against a great fighter. I'm upset, really upset. But that's where boxing goes.
Commiserations and congratulations to you, Glen.
Thank you. I just want to thank England for having me, Clinton Woods and his promoter for giving me an opportunity. I know the opportunity wasn't for me, but I knew it was my opportunity to come in and steal it. So I did. Clinton Woods is a great fighter. I just have the edge on him twice.
Well done. Great stuff.
Thank you very much.
Well, I'm sure most of you watching probably don't know too much about Glen Goff Johnson's background, but you can imagine what it is, given that unbelievably emotional, not justification, but just cry of pleasure of what he's managed to achieve tonight.
You don't often hear things like that after the fight, do you? Here's a guy, I mean, he's had the hard knocks and some. He could write the handbook on suffering, and tonight he got justice, and I'm pleased he did.
Absolutely. And a quick final thought on Clinton Woods. I mean, it's, you know, in the immediate aftermath, it's not the time to sort of start pontificating about his future, but what do you think?
Well, I think he could come back down now to British and Commonwealth level and fight probably Peter Obo. That's an interesting contest. I don't think his career's over. Obviously, this will take some getting over. He's very, very disappointed. Well, you know, if he sticks in there, who knows? It may happen for him one day.
And Glen Goff John's had it off, as they say in the trade. Glen Goff's had it off. He's going to fight Joe Calzaghe and earn plenty of money.
Okay, what a fight that's going to be as well. Well, if Clinton Woods' future hangs in the balance, one fighter today decided exactly where his future lay. And for Lennox Lewis, he said, "I am the world heavyweight champion. Get me out of here."
It's the right time to call it a day. It's a decision that I've been thinking about for such a while. I realized that when I first went into boxing, I was a man on a mission. And you could say my mission's complete. If I would have retired without boxing Mike Tyson, it would have been a situation where everybody was saying, well, Mike Tyson's best, you never boxed him. So I had to box him because he was the only last boxer in my era that needed to be beat. I want to be one of these boxers that when I say I retire, I've retired. And as far as the money's concerned, you know, it was never about money for me. It was always about glory. And when you look back in the history books, all you're going to remember is what I've achieved, not how much money I've made. I'll be looked at as a person that's basically done it with dignity, honor, did it myself, did it my way, and got out at the right time.
And you can see the full interview with Lennox Lewis during the course of Grandstand tomorrow afternoon, which starts at 1 o'clock on BBC One. And the World Indoor Trials and 3 Ace Championships, incidentally, are just down the road here in Sheffield tomorrow afternoon. Now, just before we talk about Lennox Lewis, by the way, I must just mention Carl Thompson against Sebastian Rothman is coming up very shortly. And believe you me, I know it's very early in the morning and you're thinking about going to bed. Just don't. Believe me, don't. But Lennox Lewis, you were there at the press conference today. Is this farewell, or is it kind of farewell for the moment, but you never know?
Well, it's definitely farewell for the moment, but, you know, this guy's got a big ego. He's a lovely fella. And what happens next year if suddenly Tyson cleans up and comes back, looks fit, finds religion again for the 5th time? How could Lennox not come out? Plus, Lennox gave something away. The last question, after an hour with us privately, a few of us journalists, he said, you know what, I thought I had 2 fights left in me last year. And he looked at us, paused, he said, and I still do have 2 fights. Odd thing for a man who's just said, I quit, to say, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, it surprised me, actually. I thought he was going to come back. But looking at it, John, he's 38. He became undisputed champion, and everyone will remember Lennox Lewis for the way he demolished a Mike Tyson. That was classic for me. And, you know, you got to take your... And he's a perfect pro. You know, you never pick up the paper and read bad press about Lennox Lewis. He's a perfect role model for amateurs and professionals. all credit to him.
But in this, you know, if this is the epitaph for Lennox Lewis, in this sort of hello, okay, obsessed world, a game that he hasn't played at all, perhaps in a way that's why he never really has won the heart of the British sporting public at large.
You know, 10 years, Johnny, won the title in May 1993. 10 years, 18 world title fights, some big ones, 160 million in the bank, and it took a controversial draw with a very ancient Evander Holyfield to actually get the British public's attention. I agree, there's never been a great love affair. I think the sporting people respect him, a lot of the nation respect him, but he's never quite gripped us. He needs to go up the aisle, and he needs to be, as you say in the Low magazine, he needs to be on I'm Celebrity, he needs to be in one of those celebrity things, the kind of shows you turn down all the time. He needs to say, yes, yes, put me in.
Okay, very quickly, in the top 10 of all-time great heavyweights, where does he rank, do you think?
You've got to put him in the top 5, I would say. Definitely, he's cleaned up in this era of boxing, hasn't he? He's been the champ. He's been the best about. And I'll tell you what, John, I remember him back in '88. We went the same Olympics together. He was obviously representing Canada then. And there's one thing that always sticks in my mind. I was talking to his trainer then, a fella called Taylor Gordon, and he says the best runner on the team was Lennox Lewis. He's such an athlete. I mean, you have to take your hats off to him.
Okay. No more talking. Let's see some more action. I promised you it's a fantastic fight between Carl Thompson and Sebastian Rothman. Just hang around for the next half hour or so. Believe me, you won't regret it.
Putting on a lot of pressure, not altogether landing with clean shots. Rothman comes back at him. 20 seconds remaining. Good right from Thompson yet again. This is the best round, certainly, and Thompson in this one may just have been doing enough to nick this round. And how encouraging is that going to be? And Rothman's face is starting to show signs of wear and tear. Oh, what a good right hand. Thompson had to hold on.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
The count continues after the bell. That was a lovely right hand at the end by Rothman. He was under a fair old bit of pressure from Thompson, who, well, momentarily seemed to be turning back the years, but Rothman caught him with a very good right hand in the neutral corner, and Thompson staggered, and that, well, will change that round certainly. Rothman looked taking everything. Little slice there, that wasn't the one. What a good shot that was. Uppercut missed, but the round the corner right landed. It was a good punch, Duke.
It certainly was. You know, Rothman's just allowed Thompson just to get to work, punch himself out ever so slightly, wait for the pace to drop so he could deliver his own stinging punches. Rothman's a sharper puncher than Carl Thompson. Thompson, unfortunately, does look his age.
All right. All right. Come on, this is IBF, yeah? So it's got to work like this, all right? You know it's got to work like this, all right? Let's go to him. Let's do our job, man. We're done in the ring. We're done in the gym. Let's do it. All right, we're here now, all right? Sharp shots. Boom, boom, that left, right, right? You want to see sharp cap, yeah? Just like everything we said before, right? In the legs. Let's go. Come on, let's go.
That's good, sensible, not too frenetic encouragement from Maurice Corr in Thompson's corner. But that was a tough run for him. He looked, certainly for my money, as if he was maybe going to take a share of it, but right at the end he got put down, or not quite put down, but an 8 count was forced. Good little stiff jab though by Thompson at the start of this one. He needs to keep the pressure on Rothman. Good work by Thompson. Rothman absorbs it all. And again, Rothman just grins. And there's a little tiny nick just to the outside of the right eye of Rothman. I may well be mistaken. Again, Thompson coming forward. And this is his best work. First couple of rounds, he allowed Rothman to dictate the pace. And at least Thompson, to his great credit, Duke, is coming forward.
Well, he's got the heart of a lion. We know that, and we know that he's game. But look what Rothman does. He lets him tee off where he can come back.
Yeah, Rothman quite happy to fight it either way, his way or Thompson's way. It doesn't seem to bother him too much. He covers up very well. Thompson having to lean on and push him away with the forearm. All the pressure coming from Thompson, but he's not turning that into really good, conclusive punches. Good shot by Thompson. Little short, straight right hand.
But every time Rothman throws the overhand right, it sends a shiver right down Carl Thompson's legs. And he just can't quite respond quick enough. There's a lot of lead in those legs of Carl Thompson's.
Well, he's been a professional boxer for some 15.5 years, starting in June of 1988. Good right hand by Rothman. Thompson still there, giving it his very best if he can. One more round to take us up to halfway. Thompson struggling a little bit now with the pace of this and the sheer strength of Rothman, but he's giving it a very good go.
Yeah, he's giving it a good go, but he's not at the races. I have to keep reiterating that point. You know, I just feel that once this kid Rothman gets through with another clean shot, Carl will go down again.
Well, he can punch a little bit, Rothman. He stopped 11 of his opponents in 17 professional victories, only one defeat. Looking for a big payday against one of the other holders of the cruiserweight crown, perhaps our own Johnny Nelson. Thompson still coming plodding forward. Rothman hasn't really been bouncing since about round 3. Thompson trying to force it yet again with 20 seconds to go. This is the same position he was in at the end of the last round, and he got caught very badly. Is Rothman just suckering him onto it yet again? Thompson's got to be very wary, trying the body once again. Oh, that right hand, and he's done it again, Rothman, almost to the second, and Thompson in even more trouble now at the end of this round. Good right hand by Thompson. Rothman had a take. Oh, he's got him. Oh, Rothman's got hurt. Rothman's getting the 8 count. Harold Albrecht holding it out of the ring. Thompson has produced one of the best punches of his career, and all of a sudden Sebastian Rothman was absolutely rocked, and there's blood coming from the nose of the South African champion, and he's looking decidedly uncomfortable. It looked for all the world as if Sebastian Rothman had got Thompson in trouble, and to be totally fair, he did have Thompson in trouble, and there was that right hand. Travelled something in the region of 6 inches. Thompson really threw it from as much instinct as everything else. What an absolute cracker that was. What a great shot that was right at the end of the round. It was all coming from Rothman, and then Thompson produced 2 shots from the very soles of his boots. What a finish to that round.
You just have to feel that if the 60 seconds is long enough for Rothman, that he will get through it. He's a cagey boxer. Thompson's got to throw all caution to the wind and go for the knockout. He can't afford to stand off this guy and to let him recover.
Well, Rothman very generously acknowledged the fact that he had been caught and hit very hard indeed and rocked to his boots by the former holder of this title and the former holder of the WBO title, Carl Thompson. And Thompson, if he puts on this pressure, surely at almost 40 years old, he's not going to turn the clock back. This is an amazing display, and Rothman's got to be careful. You know, one punch either way is going to make all the difference.
One punch either way will... I don't think Rothman's quite recovered just yet. Thompson's doing an absolute perfect job on him at the moment by stalking him, and he's not landing too cleanly, but he's putting the fear of God in him.
Don't forget, Rothman has never been down, never mind halted, and Thompson threatened to do both at the end of that last round. This is where Thompson wants Rothman, and Rothman saying, come on. He did that the last time. Good defense from Rothman, and he responds in kind, and he says, there you go, I can take it and I can give it, but can you take it as well? Thompson has shown that all through his career he can take it, and back he comes again. This has suddenly turned into a 50-50 contest. One punch. Good blocking by Thompson. Lazy right by Rothman. Maybe the zip has gone out of him. Maybe he's underestimated the British veteran.
Well, what Rothman's trying to do is clear his head. He's quite content to give this round away, just to clear his head so he stays in the fight. But all the time, Carl Thompson's coming forward and punching himself out. It'll make him a little bit more tired.
Well, Rothman's not moving. If he stands still, who knows what could happen. Richie Davis is having a real good look. Wicked looking right from the South African champion, but didn't land. Thompson needs just a little bit of trickery. Rothman now is standing, anxious moments in the South African corner.
It's a better round for Thompson, but he's just got paid with 2 left hooks from Rothman in the kind.
Absolutely, 2 little round the corner rights, and Thompson's wobbling a little bit. Now, will those legs keep him there? The heart certainly will not disappear.
Rothman switched southpaw, and it's confused Carl.
Referee Richie Davis said no. Again, that was a slip. Thompson was going forward. His momentum carried him forward. So that won't count. That will not be a point. Very definitely a point to Rothman. 20 seconds to go. The last 2 rounds have produced, well, quite extraordinary scenes at this stage. Can Thompson get himself up once more? Good left, or good right, I should say, from him. Better defense by Thompson. And again, he comes forward. A lot of blood now coming from Rothman's nose. Well, one last shot at the end was well off the mark. And not a bad round by Carl Thompson.
I'd give that round to Thompson. Sheer persistence, work rate also. Rothman really didn't do too much in that round. Was just content to try and get his head clear so he can stay in the fight.
That's it, deep breath. Come on, deep.
Well,
deep. Now listen.
This still could go either way. Both men showing the signs of a lot of hard shots. Lovely little corkscrew left hand through the middle of the champion's guard by Carl Thompson. Nice variation. Went down to the body with the right and came through with that left hand. And Rothman replied, but he's not got his distance right. He's slapping with the open part of the glove, and that's not going to bother Thompson.
Yeah, man. That only happens here. It doesn't happen again. This boy don't want to be in there with you. He wants to fuck around with that left hand. And every time he opens his mouth, it's high. Now, come on, Cat. Let's put it together and get that with him. Come on, boy. Let's finish quickly getting him. Let's go.
So past the midway point, a lot of people thought that at almost 40 years of age, Carl Thompson might not get to here. But he's certainly still there. He's had the champion in trouble, and he's got him in trouble at the start of this round. And Rothman, as ever, saying, I can take all that and maybe a bit more. Thompson will really have to go for this one. He's got to keep on top of this champion if he wants to win this. Rothman has met plenty of British opposition before. Won his WBU title against Rob Norton and defended against men like Kelly Oliver and Mark Hobson, who's now the British and Commonwealth champion, Crawford Ashley, and indeed Gary Delaney.
This is nice boxing from Rothman. He seems to have cleared his head. Just got back on his basic sort of boxing technique skills. Shouldn't allow Thompson in too close because he's paid, or nearly paid, the price for doing that in the round previous. I think there's also a little nick now under Rothman's right eye.
Just at the side of that prominent nose of his, and Thompson, I'm sure, will focus on that. But his focus all the way through has been very good, Thompson.
Rothman's just got back to doing what he was doing early in these rounds, just pot shotting, just picking up points and just paying Thompson.
And again, his hands are held pretty high, and Thompson is finding it difficult to get past them. So bruised and cut the champion. Thompson breathing very heavily, blood still coming from that mouth of his. He's leaving himself open a little bit and has to be very careful. Good right from Thompson. He is finding great reserves from somewhere.
But Cole's pace has dropped now, and Rothman's starting to enjoy himself once again.
Thompson is starting to wobble ever so slightly. Those heavily veined legs of his have carried him through thus far. Good work by Thompson yet again. But again, Rothman with that stiff jab of his puts the challenger on the back foot. 40 seconds remaining. Are we going to see Rothman coming forward? Good right hand from Rothman. Thompson needs to cover up, but that's maybe not in his nature. Rothman looking for one big finish. Shows it to Thompson. Doesn't quite deliver.
Cole looks desperately tired. I fear for him right now. You know, when Rothman turns it on like this, he's so impressive.
Feint by Thompson. Rothman, as you rightly said, Duke McKenzie, has regained his composure and regained the clearness of head that's seen him through so far. But what a shock Thompson gave him. A very gallant effort from Thompson, more than a gallant effort. A very good effort from Thompson. Good flourish, and again, Rothman, nice guy that he is, says well done. And Thompson has more than survived another round. So Thompson looking a little bit on the tired side of that round. Jack Doughty and Maurice Corr in the corner. Doctor having a little look at him, nothing to worry about. Well, there's the face of a fella who I think didn't expect to ship so much punishment as he has done from Carl Thompson. When Thompson gets in close and short in the punches, he does his best work. but when he allows Rothman to box at distance and at the South African's pace, then it's the South African who looks good. 1, 2, 3, 4 very good educated left jabs.
You've got to take him there now. Let's go,
Harold Volbrecht and Tommy Lokele send their man Sebastian Rothman out into the middle of this ring here in Sheffield for round number 8. And it has been a tough old contest, not just for Carl Thompson, the challenger, but for Rothman himself, and both of them now bouncing very nicely. Well, the fresher man you would expect as the younger man by some 10 years. That's the champion. But I've been hugely impressed with the attitude and the conditioning and the sheer bloody mindedness of Carl Thompson.
Well, you would have to be. Also, his punching power, obviously. I think his corner have told him, you know, one more big round, Carl, we're going to give you one more round. And he's come out to do just that. Can't leave yourself open though for the counter punches. Rothman throws stinging counter punches like that. Every time he allows Thompson to come forward, he's just waiting for the onslaught where he can come back.
That punch didn't please Richie Davis at all. This is what Thompson wants Rothman, if he can keep the pressure on him. Remember what happened at the end of a couple of rounds ago.
Rothman's going to slip an uppercut into this combination at some point. Thompson's absolutely made for it. He walks in and he's quite square on.
Rothman almost thinking about switching back to southpaw again, but he's back to orthodox. Coming up to the midway point, Thompson wobbles. He is very tired now. Rothman looking the fresher of the two. Oh, Thompson's mouth is absolutely wide open. There's a lot of blood coming from it, and underneath his left eye there's quite a bit of nasty swelling. Good right by Thompson still. He is not going to give up this challenge unless forced to do so.
Every time Rothman lands with that right hand over the top, he stops Thompson dead in his tracks. He just stops him, and it's like he's riveted to the canvas.
Thompson coming plodding forward. Rothman once again slows down. Good variation by Thompson, again trying to draw those hands down. Solid right from the challenger, but doesn't have the same effect as we saw a couple of rounds ago.
Well, Thompson doesn't mind giving one to land one, but he lands one and takes 2 or 3 in return.
Last 30 seconds, this has been an interesting point in most rounds. Good right by Thompson. Not a lot behind it. Tries it again. Gets caught on the counter. Thompson still there. Great work by Thompson. Great heart he's showing. Can he produce another big shot? Can Rothman land with that uppercut again, which has caused Thompson problems? A good little exchange at the end of the round. Terrific bit of work by both men. Thompson quite happy to get hit, and he comes plowing forward. Tried the uppercut. Good defense by Rothman. Couple of seconds to go. And Thompson is still there. Almost staggers back to the corner on battle-weary legs, and what a great display Carl Thompson really has put in here in Sheffield. Richie Davis collects the scorecards, and we'll hear once again, and he's with Mike Costello from David Hay.
David, it looks as if Carl's got little left, but we've been saying that virtually all the way through.
Yeah, they say punch power is the last thing a boxer loses, and that's testament to that. He looked completely outclassed, outgunned in every department, but he's got that punch power, and he landed that big bingo punch. You know, it's like a Rocky movie. You keep watching him go, and you think, oh, is he going to land that shot again? It's a great fight, really good to watch.
Thanks.
Well, that is the face of a serious warrior. Packed it in some years ago when he lost this particular title, which he was defending for the first time, and then decided to have one more go at it. And here he is challenging once again for the IBO crown. Touch of gloves, Sebastian Rothman in white, the South African, 29 years of age, born in Tel Aviv, against Carl the Cat Thompson, coming up to 40 years of age, having his 38th professional contest, and thus far he's won 31 of them.
Both boxers now starting to really mark up around the face, below and above the eyes. There's a lot of swelling there, particularly on Thompson's face. But to his credit, he just won't stop trying. Knows this is his last chance, keeps ploughing forward, soaking up the punishment and just won't be denied.
Yeah, the left eye of Thompson is very badly swollen underneath. Rothman has been picking that off. But still, you do feel, no matter what happens, that if Thompson can land as he did at the end of a couple of rounds ago, this could be all so different. Has Rothman learned from that? He certainly took his time in the following round and regained that composure. There's that almost slapping round the corner right from Rothman.
But Thompson just can't seem to get out of the way of it. It's a big roundhouse right hand, which Rothman throws, and he clubs him round the head with it.
Rothman again has slowed down. Knows that the target is going to be there in front of him. And again, Rothman starting to fancy this a little bit. Maybe senses that Thompson has not that much left. And I'm sure nobody has told Thompson that.
Yeah, well, Carl's no respect for reputations or record. He isn't. All he sees is another boxer in the opposite corner, which he's got to go and defeat, obviously. When Rothman starts to jab, he's almost in a different class.
Well, Thompson is doing his best to take that jab away. Good right hand. Rothman is ever talking to him. Richie Davis spoke to him early on in the contest about doing just that. There's that right again. Thompson has taken quite a few of them.
And he looks desperately tired now. His mouth's wide open, his mouth's bleeding, he's bruised, a little bit battered. But Rothman hasn't come out of this unscathed as well.
And Rothman's nose is bleeding again. Thompson really has kept working at him all the way through. Just needs a little bit more variation, Thompson. Got the left up just in time. Well, Thompson is absolutely exhausted. It did hurt. Thompson is exhausted. He's tired, and Rothman's really going for him now. Thompson on the ropes, and Rothman has actually stepped back and maybe left him off the hook. I'm not sure Thompson has a great deal left. Richie Davis is having a good look. He certainly won't allow Thompson to get himself hurt. He may just survive the end of this run. Oh, what a shot from Thompson! Right hand. Oh, what can you say? Oh, ye of little faith. He's not going to make it, is he? He's up at 8. He's up at 8. He stopped it. He stopped it. This is absolutely extraordinary. Well, they might just have allowed him to go on, but Richie Davis looked into the eyes of Sebastian Rothman and decided that the South African should not be allowed to go. And Richie Davis is a great referee. He's a world-class referee, and he made what for Carl Thompson is not just a world-class, but a world championship decision. We thought that Carl Thompson was on the way, and once again he proved that at the end of the round that there is one punch that separates you from defeat and victory, and the one punch was produced by the 39-year-old Carl the Cat Thompson, and he has regained the IBO cruiserweight title. He will thank Richie Davis, he'll thank Morris Corr, but he will thank whoever provided the inspiration for that shot. What an absolute belter that was.
Look what Carl Thompson does. You know, I was just about to say the referee should stop this fight on a compassionate act against Thompson, but he produces a punch of a lifetime and absolutely destroys Rothman. He's knocked him cold. I thought Rothman was going to stop him.
Rothman thought it was all over. He was putting on the pressure. His left hand was far, far too low, and that was a perfect punch. And for Carl Thompson, who will be 40 years old soon, it was a perfect ending.
Carl, most people in here have never seen anything like that and will never see anything like that again.
Well, I told you, it's like as we're sellers. You know what I mean? I worked to my strongest point is pressure. I know it's going to take a lot. And, you know, listen, let's give him full respect first before I start talking about the fight. He's a brilliant boxer, full of great credit, but he knows I got heart, but he doesn't really know what the true heart is with me. You know what I mean? And, but at the same time, you know what I mean? Thank you.
When the finish came, were you still looking for that big shot? You still thought it would come?
We are working on our strongest point. My strongest point is pressure. I've got to soak it up, to hang in there. That's my strongest point. He doesn't realise I've been there before. I've been there, done it all before. I've been hit, I've been knocked down, I've done it all before. I come up and get up. The more he talks to me, the more I love it. And he kept on talking to me all the way through. I said, baby, you keep going. You know what I mean? I knew it would come, and I was getting close to him. I said, yeah, I'm getting to you. I know I'm getting to you. You know what I mean?
Well, let's see when you got very close to him in that 9th round, this punch here, if you can just take a look at the screen. Here you're under a bit of pressure yourself.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we know. We've got to entice him in. Wait for it. Come on, entice him in. Come on. There you go. And I've been told.
Bingo.
Nice one. I mean, he caught with some good shots. I'm sure I caught him with some shots. Well, you know what I mean? I tell all you skeptics out there said age is a problem. I tell you, it's not a problem. You know what I mean? I'll show you it's not a problem. I know that me and him probably get it on sometime again. I'm sure we will, because this guy's a champion. Gave me a shot. So, I mean, who knows? We can do it again probably.
Sebastian, was that just as painful second time around?
I think it was worse second time round. The first time I didn't see it coming. Now, credit to Cole. He showed he's a true champion. He's got the heart of a champion. I knew it was going to be a tough one. I lost concentration. He made me pay like a true champion he is. And the best for Cole. You know, it's the second life he's got now. Probably like he is a cat, so he's got a few left, I think. He's a true champion, a true gentleman outside and inside the ring. And the best to him. I hope the best for his family and him. God bless you and your family.
But it might be looked upon as a fight that you lost as well as Carl won.
Correct. Now, listen. It's not just a mistake I made. He made me pay for it. He showed true champion. He showed his heart. I caught him with good. I caught him with good punches. Lesser fighters would have gone down. He showed tremendous heart. Listen, I'm not going to take anything away from him. He deserves this. I made a mistake. I have to go clear it up and fix it. I don't know when I'm going to have to start over now. But yeah, credit to Cole. I'm not going to take anything away from him. He deserves it.
True, man.
Carl, for you then, life begins at nearly 40.
Nearly 40. Oh, yeah. Come on, you guys. If you can outbox me for 6, 7 rounds all your cruiserweight, great. Remember, we've got 5 rounds to go. If you can box me till 9, remember, we've got 3 rounds to go. So listen, I will always be in your face. Okay, all you respect to you cruiserweight out there. Respect to you. Nice one.
Thanks for your time.
First of all, I've got to thank my man, Dennis Roberts. We've got to thank these guys. Without them, it's not possible. And without the BBC as well. Some people are sceptical in the BBC, but at the end of the day, we showed them the best. I'm thanking Morris.
You go and enjoy the victory. Thanks for your time.
Cheers. Bless you guys. Bless all. Okay.
Well, when did you last see a finale like that? And you're not related to Murray Walker, are you? Because 5 seconds before that punch was landed, you were begging the referee to stop it in the South African's favour.
I would, and had Richie Davis, the referee, listened to me, it would have been the right decision. But of course he didn't listen to me, thankfully, he couldn't hear me. And Carl did what Carl said he could do, and what really we know he can do, and what he's been doing for 10 years as one of the most exciting and underestimated boxers in Britain. He pulled out not just a knockout shot, a perfect knockout shot.
But Mike Costello asked that question, and it's the key one, really. Did he win it, or did Rothman lose it?
That's a good question, John, but I tell you what, they say, you know, when you go hunting a tiger, the most dangerous part of hunting a tiger is if you wound it. And 20 seconds, 30 seconds before that stoppage, it looked like he was a wounded tiger, Carl Thompson. But what a cap performance. That was absolutely fantastic. Now I think he won it. It was a peach of a shot. The thing with Thompson, he's always in with a puncher's chance. He's got good head movement, still got the good head movement, but his power, he's got phenomenal power. He's always in there with a puncher's chance. And, you know, for me, he was probably 3 or 4 rounds down, and I thought he was coming to the end. But he's pulled out the bag. I mean, the guy is a warrior.
Great drama, wasn't it? Fantastic.
It was great drama. You think about it, Carl goes over in the 4th round and he looks absolutely gone. Yep. He gets up, he survives the next round, takes an awful pasting, and once again, wise Steve Bunce turns around and says, I think we should stop this one. Next thing you know, right cross, Rothman's gone. Lucky it survived the 6th round. Absolutely.
Your reputation's on the line, mate, I tell you.
I'm not a gambler, thankfully, John.
Rematch?
Oh, I think so. I mean, we've just been talking about it, what Carl should do now. He's probably go to South Africa for a hell of a lot of money and have a rematch over there, or otherwise there's always the Johnny Nelson situation as well, because Johnny Nelson is probably our #1 cruiser, but Carl Thompson will have something to say about that now, so that would be a great rematch.
Okay, well, let's hope some of the fights we have coming up over the next few weeks are, well, half as good as that. Here's the lineup over, the next 4, 5, 6 weeks. Next up, we're in Nottingham on March the 12th for Carl Froch against Tony Dodson, the British super middleweight